I welcome you all to Module 1, Session 1 Introduction to Information Security and its Importance. In this session, we will delve into the various concepts related to information security, its essence, and learn its importance. The history of information security begins with computer security. The need for computer security, or the need to secure physical computer hardware and software from threats, arose during World War II when the first mainframe developed to aid communication was under attack. Multiple levels of security were implemented to protect these mainframes and maintain the integrity of their data. Access to sensitive military locations, for example, was controlled by means of badges, keys, and the facial recognition of authorized personnel by security guards. The growing need to maintain national security eventually led to more complex and more technologically sophisticated computer security safeguards. Today, the internet brings millions of unsecured computer networks in contact with each other. Recent years have seen a growing awareness for the need to improve information security, as well as a realization that information security is important to national defense. The growing threat of cyber attacks have made governments and companies more aware of the need to defend the computer control systems and other critical infrastructure. There is also growing concern about countries engaging in information warfare and the possibility that businesses and personal information systems could become casualties if they are undefended. Okay, we have spoken about security in general. Let's dive a bit more, shall we? In general, security is the quality or state of being secure, that is, to be free from danger. In other words, protection against adversaries from those who would do harm intentionally or otherwise is the main objective. National security, for example, is a multi-layered system that protects the authority of a state, its assets, its resources, and its people. Achieving the appropriate level of security for an organization also requires a multi-layered system. A successful organization should have the following multiple layers of security in place to protect their operations. Number 1. Physical security, to protect physical items, objects, or areas from unauthorized access and misuse. Number 2. Personal security, to protect the individual or group of individuals who are authorized to access the organization and its operations. Number 3. Operation security, to protect the details of a particular operation or series of activities. Have some confidential team and carry it out. Number 4. Communication security, to protect communications, media, technology, and content. Number 5. Network security, to protect networking components, connections, and contents. And lastly, as number 6, is information security, to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information assets, whether in storage, processing, or even during transmission. So you may ask, how is it achieved? It is achieved via the application of organization policy, education, training and technology, and awareness. Till now, we have seen the types of security and how it can be applied. Now we will see some of the key information security concepts and what they mean. At first, we will see what is an access. Access, in simple terms, do you have the permission to do something, is what we call as an access. Think this way, you can access your school or college library using your ID card. ID card gives you the permission to access the books. A subject or object's ability to use, manipulate, modify, or affect another subject or object can be termed as an access. Authorized users have legal access to a system, whereas hackers have illegal access to a system. Up next, we have asset. Is something useful? Something of value that a person, company owns can be called as an asset. Think about yourself. Your home is an asset to you and your family. The organizational resource that is being protected can be called as an asset in computer terms. An asset can be logical, such as a website, or information, or data, or an asset can be physical, such as a person or a computer system. Information assets are the sole focus of an organization and their attempts to protect it. Next up, we have an attack. An intentional or unintentional act that can cause damage or otherwise compromise information or the systems that support it is called as an attack. Attacks can be active or passive, intentional or unintentional, and even direct or indirect. Someone casually reading sensitive information not intended for his or her use is a passive attack. A hacker attempting to break into an information system is an intentional attack. For example, A lightning strike that causes a fire in a building is an unintentional attack, while a direct attack is a hacker using a personal computer to break into a system. An indirect attack is a hacker compromising a system and using it to attack other systems. Direct attacks originate from the threat itself, while indirect attacks originate from a compromised system or resource that is malfunctioning or working under the control of a threat. Up next is countermeasure. Security mechanisms, policies, or procedures that can successfully counter attacks, reduce risk, resolve vulnerabilities, and otherwise improve the security within an organization can be termed as a countermeasure. Countermeasures are required when there are exploits. What is an exploit then? We all know that if you use someone to gain a favor, then you are exploiting the person. Similarly, if we manage to use a loophole and use it to compromise a system, then that is an exploit. It is a process where we take advantage of a vulnerability, usually in software. Next is exposure. A condition or state of being exposed can be termed as exposure. In information security, exposure exists when a vulnerability known to an attacker is present. Loss. What is a loss? We use the term loss when an organization's information is stolen or when an asset is lost. In either case, a loss has been incurred. Lastly, we have risk. The probability that something unwanted will happen or has happened is termed as risk. Organizations always aim to minimize risk to avoid loss. These are some of the key security terms you should know of. Now, every living and non-living thing possesses some characteristics that define them. Information comes from the characteristics it possesses. When a characteristic of information changes, the value of that information either increases or decreases. Some of the critical characteristics of information is as follows. We have three such, and at first we have availability. It means information should be consistently and readily accessible for authorized parties. Let's say you have a file which you copied it in pen drive, your laptop, your hard disk, gave a copy to your friend as backup. Now if you lose your pen drive, you don't have to worry about the file getting lost. You have multiple copies of data as backup. The file is still available. In computer terms, if the data is available even if the main system is down, that defines availability. Next is confidentiality. A system's ability to ensure that only the correct authorized user or system or resource can view, access, change, or otherwise use data is confidentiality. But this characteristic enables only the authorized users or computer systems to access the data without interference or obstruction. Only you can ask your friend the file that you gave to him as backup, not some stranger. So the stranger cannot go and ask for the file. The stranger is not allowed. Here, the stranger is the unauthorized user. Confidentiality ensures that only those with the rights and privileges to access information are able to do so. When unauthorized individuals or systems can view information, confidentiality is breached. Next up, we have integrity. Involves maintaining the consistency, accuracy, and trustworthiness of data over its entire life cycle. Data must not be changed in transit, and steps must be taken to ensure data that cannot be altered by unauthorized people. To put it in simple terms, let's say you buy eggs from the shop and you go to your home. Upon reaching, if you find the eggs broken, the integrity of eggs is altered. It's broken and it's altered already. Your mom will scold you for sure. Make sure you don't let it happen. And likewise, if information is altered, we say that its integrity is compromised. Let's say you entered male in a form under gender and someone alters the form's data as female. Then the form's integrity is compromised. Data is changed is what we are trying to understand. An hacker might change information to make an organization lose money. Many computer viruses and worms are designed with the explicit purpose of corrupting data. A key method of assuring information integrity is file hashing, in which a file is read by a special algorithm that uses the value of the file in bits to compute a single large number called as a hash value. The hash value for any combination of bits is always unique for each file. If a computer system performs the same hashing algorithm on a file and obtains a different number than the recorded hash value for that file, the file has been compromised. That's it. We have come to the end of this session. Hope you all learned the key concepts of information security. See you all in the next session.